Hello everyone. Today's show is L.I.F.E. Life, a Nigerian Nollywood film. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and tell me what you think about this video in the comment section down below. The movie opens up with a beautiful stunning choreography. After a couple of minutes of dancing, the next scene we see is Emma jumping up from her sleep. It was a dream she was having, and she was the dancer in the dream. She picks up her phone and she sees that she's extremely late for work, and she jumps up and rushes off. On the other side of the city, Yinka wakes up and she sees that she's late, and then she stands up and rushes off to her dance arena. That evening, Yinka's group is holding a dance performance, and watching them during the performance is Emma. Emma briefly visualizes that it was her up on that stage as a dancer. The next morning, Emma is late to work again, and so is Yinka, and they both head to their respective workplaces. William is already in the meeting. Emma's meeting has started, and her boss, Mr. Fred, is extremely upset that she's late. He came down to her friend Kewe's desk in the morning to demand where the hell Ella is. She realizes the seriousness of the matter after Kewe tells her and how late she is, and then she comes to her senses and she rushes upstairs to join her meeting. On the other side of the city, Yinka the dancer strolls into her dance rehearsal. Her boss, Mr. Bayo, is extremely furious with her and demands she tell him why she's late. Does she think she can behave anyhow just because she thinks that she's his favorite and best dancer? Yinka tries to explain to her boss that she's not late on purpose, that she did not have any money for any transport and she had to walk all the way from home there. She hadn't even eaten. Before she could talk, he doesn't even let her finish. He says that he doesn't want to hear what she has to say and tells her he doesn't care what the fuck is happening, that she should just be getting to rehearsal on time. And Mr. Bayo tells her that if it happens again, that she's going to be fired from the squad and she'll exit. Her teammates are laughing at her being scolded. On the other side of the city again, Emma is extremely scolded by her friend Kewe for coming late, and that she's been late for 5 weeks back to back in 1 month, and that she's looking unserious and that she's risking her job, especially since she's the one that's handling the massive presentation next week at a meeting. As Emma is trying to explain to her friend what's happening and how stressed she really is, Williams interrupts and then tells her that Mr. Fred wants to see them. He looks extremely stuck up and snobby. She starts to look worried. Kewe tells her to get herself together or else she's going to lose her job to William. Back in Yinka's story, Yinka is on stage and she's dancing with the rest of the crew. After their dance rehearsal, Mr. Bayo commenced dancing and then tells Toby and Yinka that they need to practice hard because of their upcoming duet performance. Oh my god, after the dance rehearsal, a female dance member comes to complain to the boss at the end of the rehearsal. She asks him while everybody is still there that why is he always selecting Yinka for important roles, that it's not like she cannot do what Yinka does. Mr. Bayo now roasts her and tells her that for somebody that cannot tell her left feet from her right feet, she has a lot of mouth too. Mr. Bayo storms out and then Yinka runs after him to ask him for money and that she'll pay him back. He asks her why on earth should he give her money after all she's owing him and hasn't paid him back yet. She begs him and pleads with him that please she hasn't eaten since yesterday. He finally caves and gives her some money. Yinka managed to get food, and while she's eating, she briefly talks to her dad on the phone and then receives some threatening messages from loan sharks where she borrowed money from. She gets up and starts heading back home. As she's trashing her plates, she passes an old woman and drops some money for the lady in her begging cup. As she leaves, she turns back and then she notices that the old lady has disappeared. The next morning, Emma wakes up and heads to her office. She and her friend Kewe are having coffee and chatting. She's telling Kewe about the recurring dreams that she's been having about being a dancer and living as a dancer. Kewe berates her and tells her that she's talking rubbish about being a dancer and that she has such a great job and she's the best in their office and that she should focus on their work. Kewe tells her to better sit up at work and focus on the upcoming presentation before she allows Williams, their other colleague, overtake her position and get her fired. Yinka and Toby are practicing for their dance, but Yinka is so distracted and messes up the practice. Toby complains and tells her to focus. Yinka then breaks down and tells him that she's struggling and that she has a lot on her mind and that she did not expect her life to turn out like this, that she's even struggling to make up to 1,000 naira per day, that she doesn't even eat for God's sake. Toby tells her that he has told her that she can always depend on him, but she said that she can't always be depending on Toby and Mr. Bayo to eat, that she's an adult and that she needs to find her own footing. As Emma is heading home that day, she crosses the same place Yinka passed in the afternoon. and then she turns back and then she sees the old lady. The old lady asks her if she's lost, and Emma says she's not lost. Then she offers to feed the old lady. They go to a mini restaurant, and while the old lady is eating, she asks Emma if there's anything she wants to tell her because she looks bothered. Emma confesses that she wants to be a dancer and that she's not sure of her current job, that she loves her job but she has always had a dream to be a dancer. The old lady tells her that contentment is key in life and she says it snidely. After leaving the restaurant, Yinka offers to drop the old lady home, but the old lady refuses. Yinka then tells her to wait as she wants to go and get money to give her. As she goes to her car, when she comes back, she sees the old lady has disappeared. From a distance, Yinka was watching this whole scene and looking enviously at Emma. Yinka turns around and the old lady is behind her again. She's startled. She briefly talks to the old lady and speaks about her desire to be like Emma. At the end of the conversation, after heading home, she tells the old lady that she hopes that she will see her someday, and then the old lady tells her that she will see her sooner than she thinks. The next morning, Toby comes to see Yinka in her home and then takes her out to eat. Yinka refuses to go at first because she doesn't want Toby to get the wrong idea because he doesn't want to be just friends, he wants to be more than friends. She eventually gives in and then Toby takes her to eat. After they eat, while walking home, Toby attempts to hold Yinka's hand to tell her something, but Yinka quickly changes the subject and drags her hand away and tells him that she'll see him tomorrow and then goes home. It's nighttime now and Emma is exiting her car. The old woman appears again behind Emma and then asks her if she still wants to be a dancer. Emma says yes, that she still wants to be a dancer, even if it's just for one day. And then the old lady says okay, very soon, and to be careful what you wish for, that sometimes life gives you what you ask for just to teach you a lesson. Then she says it is time, and then Emma closes her eyes, and at that moment, when she opens her eyes, the old lady has disappeared from the parking lot. The old lady appears to Yinka again, and then Yinka still expresses her desire to live the life that Emma is living, even if it's just for one day. The old lady also tells her be careful what you wish for, and then says it is time again, and then disappears. The next morning, Emma and Yinka are reading on their bed. They are shaking, they are twisting, they are turning, and when they wake up, they are looking around in their surroundings in shock. They have switched bodies, and on an important day for both of them. The day that Yinka has an important dance performance, and the day that Emma has an important pitch meeting at her office. Emma is panicking in Yinka's body. She's looking around at her surroundings. She rushes outside. She asks the lady where the hell she is. The lady screams at her to stop playing. Back in Emma's home, Yinka is in Emma's body and she's looking around. She's enjoying the body switch and she's very happy. She looks for some outfit, but she doesn't find something that is to her taste for a while. After she dresses up, she goes downstairs. She gets multiple calls and messages on Emma's phone, but she ignores them. She's basking in her new surroundings. Emma's driver knocks and comes in and tells Emma, who is Yinka in Emma's body, that the car is ready. Then Emma enters the car and then tells the driver to take her to the culture center in the city. That's where her dance arena location is. They've both remembered their important engagements. Yinka in Emma's body rushes to the dance location, and then Emma in Yinka's body rushes to the office. When Emma gets to the office, one of her colleagues try to kick her out because she's in Yinka's body and they don't know who the hell she is and she's filthy looking. After some back and forth, her friend Kewe comes out, and then after more back and forth, she finally gets Kewe, her friend, to realize that it's her, but she's in another body. When they are sitting, Kewe tells Emma that she had missed the presentation and that William had presented in her place. As a result of all of this, Mr. Fred had fired Emma. Yinka has also missed her important performance, and because of that, the deal they were hoping for fell through. Mr. Bayo is so furious and fires her. At their individual locations, Emma and Kewe call the phone that Yinka is with, and then they all agree to meet at a spot at night. When they all arrive at the location, Yinka and Emma start bickering at each other and throwing insults. They say that they hate the lives that they've been swapped into. After they cool down, they try to figure out how to change their bodies back and rectify their lives. Toby and Kerry ask if they remember any odd thing from the day before they were swapped, and then they both point out the old woman. After discussing, the whole group disperses and heads home to their separate places. Yinka and Emma switch phones so that they can at least have their own phones even though they're in different bodies. They hug goodbye. They made a little friendship. The next morning, they switch back to their original bodies. They are both excited and jumping up and down. Emma quickly dresses up and rushes down to her office to try and rectify her situation. Yinka is also happy and jumping in her own place when Toby arrives. She rushes up to hug him, but Toby has brought bad news that Mr. Bayo has fired Yinka. Emma is with William in a meeting with their boss, Mr. Fred. She's trying to beg for a second chance. William is upset that Mr. Fred called his work rubbish and that the client said that he wants nothing to do with it. Fred scolds William for being too egotistical about his work. After some back and forth and harsh words, Mr. Fred storms out. Emma returns to her desk where her friend Kewe is packing up her desk. Kewe has also been fired alongside Emma just for being her friend. Kewe is so angry and she's yelling at Emma for messing up her job and screwing up her livelihood and costing her her work. Emma is trying to beg, but Kewe doesn't want to hear anything and then she storms off. All the people in the office are staring at them. In the night, Toby brings Yinka to his second workplace. His bosses have traveled, so he wants to play some music and dance with her to boost up her mood and cheer her up. They dance a beautiful, lovely, captivating choreography that leaves them cheerful. Emma and Yinka briefly meet later that night to have a chat about how their lives got messed up. The next morning, Mr. Fred calls Emma, and in the afternoon, Emma, Yinka, and Toby and Kewe meet up. Emma then tells them that Mr. Fred called her. She describes the situation to them and then enlists Yinka and Toby's help to help her with her presentation to the foreign clients to try and impress Mr. Fred, who gave her her job back. They discuss plans and then decide to bring Mr. Bayo into the presentation pitch too. Toby takes Yinka to see Mr. Bayo that afternoon. Mr. Bayo is pissed at first, but after they tell him their idea and that they've brought in a new client, he calms down and accepts. The next morning, during the presentation, after a little delay, Mr. Bayo arrives, and then, after deliberation and presenting, the clients consider, deliberate, and accept their proposal. Mr. Fred gives them the good news and restates their job. They are so happy and they are jumping up and down. Everybody rejoices. Emma and her friend got their job back, and Yinka, Bayo, and Toby are successfully employed. In the final scene, Yinka pays back Mr. Bayo what she's been owing him and then gets on stage to dance for the proposal with her crew. Emma and Kewe are watching the dance crew, and then William walks up to them and kindly asks Emma if he can join her work team. Emma agrees and welcomes him to the team with a handshake, and then the movie ends. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. I personally think the movie is an 8 over 10 for me, and I suggest that everyone watch it. Thank you everyone. Bye.